Yes, people, welcome along to Aston Villa from the stands. I hope you're well as we go into another weekend of Premier League action. But today we've got a big story to talk about. David Ornstein has revealed all about Ollie Watkins, what happened in January, and what could be this summer. So if you haven't done so already, if you love the Aston Villa content, then please make sure to smash a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and of course, if you're watching on live, get in the live chat right now and share your thoughts. And if you're watching on replay, your thoughts are always welcome in the comments. I will make sure I get back to, because David Ornstein, he's been very vocal about Aston Villa in the last few days. Yesterday, we reported and talked about the Jacob Ramsey, Morgan Rogers situation, that actually many clubs are monitoring those two and are very interested in them, and Ornstein pushing that narrative. And today, Ornstein has told everyone what has been going on with Ollie Watkins, and it's massive news in my opinion, and we need to get right into this one. So big up to everyone. As I said, make sure you smash in the like button for me. Would massively appreciate it. And yeah, we are ready to rock and roll with this one. So big up to everyone. And let's get the story on board right now for you all. Let's get the story there live and direct on your screen. So Ornstein has said this, and you need to brace yourself for this one. You need to brace yourself for this one, because this one nearly threw me off my seat. This is what David Ornstein has said today, people. David Ornstein said this: January saw Arsenal attempt to sign Ollie Watkins. It was an opportunity presented to them potentially by Aston Villa, depending on what decision they would make on John Duran. It didn't work out with Arsenal. John Duran departed, and let's see if that ship has sailed now. I think most probably, but you never know in this industry. So much to take in. So much there from an Ornstein bomber clock there. Absolutely dropping bombs. Ornstein bombs left, right, and centre. This absolutely threw me today. I can't believe how vocal this has been. Now, we have, of course, got through that January transfer window, and we had the whole John Duran and Ollie Watkins situation. At one point, we were like, oh my God, are Aston Villa going to sell both their strikers in one window? Almost impossible, right? And when John Duran was obviously linked to Saudi and Ollie linked to Arsenal, it was all confusing. And I was adamant, chat, that Ollie Watkins to Arsenal was just fake news. I was adamant that it was Arsenal PR trying to make Arsenal fans believe they were trying to sign a number 9. And I also felt maybe it was Villa just trying to toy Arsenal a little bit and say, hey, come on then, how much are you actually willing to stump up for our 9? We're not going to sell him, but let's just fish around. But the biggest thing that caught me off guard here, chat, the biggest thing that caught me off guard here was where it said it was an opportunity presented them. Now, the word potentially leaves doubt, but it said potentially by Aston Villa. What I'm reading into that is, and you may agree or disagree, is that Villa were willing to sell Ollie Watkins to Arsenal if John Duran was going to stay. That's how I read it. That's how I read it. And I don't know if you guys read it the same. I don't know if you guys have interpreted it the same as I have, but I have 100% completely interpreted it as Villa were actually toying with the idea of selling Watkins to Arsenal if the price was right and if John Duran stayed. So that's the way I've read it. Now let me know if you're reading it differently. I know the word potentially by Aston Villa leaves sort of a speculation, should I say, from David Ornstein. But what we are seeing for real right now is 100% Arsenal Ollie Watkins link in January was serious. Second of all, Villa were the ones who actually potentially suited the buy, and it was all on the John Duran situation. So we could be in a road where actually John Duran stayed and we sold Ollie Watkins. But obviously John Duran pushed that big Saudi move and we couldn't turn it down. So there we go. Let's have a look who's in the chat today before we go further, because there's a lot more to this Ollie Watkins situation. The second half of that statement, I'm going to talk to you about what I think is going to happen to Ollie Watkins this summer. And Ornstein has also made another comment on Aston Villa news and transfers. So big up to my dad in the house. Big up to Les and Jamie as well. Great to see you in here. The legend that is Lee Collison as well is here. I'm sure he's smashing it on Call of Duty. Charlie S in the house. He says he won't win any trophies at Arsenal, even if it's a boyhood club. You tell them, Charlie. I agree on that. I hope Watkins stays, says Alfie. Big up to my mum as well. She's loving the new haircut. I agree. We've got a fresh trim we haven't noticed. And Omi Madison says score predictions for tomorrow. A Villa win. A Villa win. got to see the lineup, but I'm going in positive with a Villa win. So, yeah, we will, of course, have a quick discussion on Forest tomorrow, and there's loads of content for that. We'll be doing the watch-along for the Nottingham Forest game. But let's concentrate on this Ollie Watkins situation, and it is a cause for concern. And people, if you haven't already, run up the likes on this video right now. Let's hit that like button up. Let's run them up. And thank you, as always, as we said, we are, on the 7 p.m. crew. And that's where we're going to be performing live. So do know that 7 p.m. is the AVFTS time. So let's go to the second part of this Watkins situation then, people. Let's go to the second part of this Watkins situation. It's the ship has sailed part. And I'm glad Les and Jamie said it as well, that they read it the same. But where it says it didn't work out with Arsenal, John Duran departed, and let's see if that ship has sailed now. So Ornstein's basically saying, have Arsenal moved past Ollie Watkins? And it says, I think most probably, but you never know in this industry. Now, why I'm saying that this ship has also sailed is because I don't know if you're aware, but Arsenal have been heavily linked to Gyökeres. Now, everyone thought Gyökeres was going to go to Manchester United because of the links with Ruben Amorim, his old manager, and that he would bring him along. But Arsenal have been linked with Gyökeres. And so that means that if they're going to sign Gyökeres, there's definitely no space for Ollie Watkins at Arsenal, unless he wants to play second fiddle. So Ornstein is saying, basically in a nutshell, listen, Ollie and Arsenal was a thing in January. It could have happened if John Duran stayed. And now he's not sure if that ship has sailed with Ollie going to Arsenal. And Ornstein has an inclination that it says, I think most probably. Now, again, people might be sat here going, Josh, why are you so focused on what David Ornstein says? Well, those of you who aren't aware, there's two top-tier elite transfer gurus in David Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano. Sometimes you get some other legends like Percy. He's been very good with Villa as well, John Percy. But Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein are the ones that everyone has their notification bell on for. Everyone waits for their news and everyone takes it and they get good scoops. However, a lot of people have actually said that Fabrizio Romano and Ornstein had a bit of a stinker in January. They actually had a little bit of a stinker in January and weren't necessarily dropping accurate information as such. So we have to use our head, we have to use our mind, and we have to basically, work out what is going to be reliable news. I believe Arsenal were in for Ollie Watkins now, after Ornstein says that. And I believe that it was all down to John Duran. Do I think that ship has sailed, though? No. I don't think the ship has necessarily sailed. Yes, Gyökeres going could determine Ollie Watkins' move, but there's no reason why Arsenal couldn't sign Gyökeres and Watkins if they mean serious business. So let's just watch the space on that one. So there's one thing there. Now, if you want to really deep Ollie Watkins in his situation, someone also then tweeted this, and this hit home with me a little bit as well. Ollie Watkins, if this happens, could he leave? If Ollie Watkins finishes this season as our record Premier League goal scorer, I could see a situation where he leaves. He's a boyhood Arsenal fan. They've needed a proper striker for a while, and given his age, he's run out of time to make that one last move. All that is completely accurate and correct. And there is a certain milestone that a player is looking to achieve. There is a certain milestone players want to be known in history as. And Ollie Watkins is 100% in that echelon. But you may ask, how many goals is Ollie Watkins actually off? Well, you're not going to believe it, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Yes, even if Ollie Watkins is finding himself on the bench, behind Marcus Rashford at the moment, Ollie Watkins is currently only, as I said, 3 goals away from overtaking Gabby Agbonlahor. Dwight York's on 60 Premier League goals, Ollie Watkins on 72, and Gabby Agbonlahor on 74. He's 3 goals away from overtaking Gabby. Now, with something like 8 or 9 Premier League games to go, could you see Ollie Watkins overtaking Gabby Agbonlahor this season, chat? That's the first thing I'm going to ask you. Do you think Ollie Watkins will be Aston Villa's all-time Premier League goal scorer and overtake Gabby Agbonlahor this season? And yeah, as I said, there is that stat and graphic again. Gabby on 74, Ollie on 72. 3 goals needed to surpass him. So there is that milestone. Now, as that account has tweeted, if Ollie does go in and overtake Gabby Agbonlahor, and he's got himself in Villa folklore history as the all-time Premier League goal scorer, can he walk out the club and go, "Hey, I'm done. That's me done now. I'm Villa's all-time goal scorer. Happy days. Premier League goal scorer, that is. Happy days. I'll leave on a bit of a high." What do you guys think? Do you guys think in the chat or watch on replay that Ollie will do it this season? Or can you imagine a situation where Ollie is so dry for goals in the Premier League that he doesn't do it? Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Do you think that actually Ollie Watkins could find a struggle to get those 3 goals this season? Or can you see it as an absolute must that he will? So there we go. Collison's loving the chop, as is Vamos VJ. Big up to you guys. Delboy says, use Gabby and Watkins as a joke. Gabby is a hero. It's just the sense of, wow, I'm not quite sure your point, Delboy, in the sense of Watkins just needs to overtake Gabby Agbonlahor now, and that's a personal milestone that he'll achieve. My dad said, will he get to 100 Premier League goals? Well, that is also maybe a milestone. If he goes to Arsenal or another Premier League club, absolutely. If he stays at Villa, I think absolutely. I think there's no doubt he will hit 100 Premier League goals. Just depends what colour shirt he's wearing. And Matt Parker says Watkins will leave regardless of whether or not he breaks the record, in my honest opinion. That's fair enough. And that is the situation here. Now, I looked a little bit further. If you want to see actually again in sort of what sort of folklore could Ollie Watkins even go into further than just Premier League? Because remember, that stat with Gabby is just a Premier League era. Well, have a look at this one. Have a look at this one. Okay. If you want to go into Villa folklore, Gabby Agbonlahor. Oh, yeah, I've just messed that up. Gabby Agbonlahor. Sorry, chat. I've just messed up my tab. 1 second. I'm trying to zoom in. There we go. Let's just go a bit further here. If you want to go to Villa all-time leading goal scorers in all competitions, Johnny Dixon is on 137. Now, he played back in 1923, and you can see now the modern day era of footballers, should I say, is that you've got Dwight Yorke on 95 Aston Villa goals in all competitions, Peter With 91, of course, cup final legend, and Watkins is on 84. So again, he could be trying to hunt down in all competitions and become Villa's second all-time leading goal scorer in all competitions. There is that really blessed moment. And what people haven't noticed as well is that Ollie Watkins has the best ratio for minutes per goal, 203 minutes to goal ratio, better than all the names above him. So some credit there to Ollie Watkins, the best minute to goal ratio, great goals per match ratio, and is heading on the right trajectory to go into Aston Villa folklore. So much to play for Ollie Watkins. So much to play for. It's interesting. It's interesting to say the least about where does Watkins end up? Does he go into Villa echelon in history, or is he going to pursue adventures elsewhere? But there we go. Delboy says, come on, mate. If Watkins was a good striker, we weren't talking this. Look, Gabriel, I get the impression, Delboy, that you think Gabby Agbonlahor was a good striker. I would struggle to find a Villa fan that would rank Gabby Agbonlahor as a better striker than Ollie Watkins. Gabby Agbonlahor unfortunately ruined his career legacy at Aston Villa, so to speak, near the end because of how he probably was in the Championship and how he was in that relegation season. Ollie Watkins has been nothing but a constant model pro. As those stats have just shown there, he's got the best minutes to goal ratio. So Ollie Watkins has the best minute to goal ratio of any striker that ever's played for Villa going into that top 10. You've got someone who is 3 goals away from being Aston Villa's all-time Premier League goal scorer. I think the numbers are absolutely brilliant from Watkins. And look, no doubt in my mind, the only reason why Gabby is sort of half relevant is because of that stat. And I hate, and I'm really brutal with this, but it's a bit like Alan Shearer, okay? Alan Shearer lands TV jobs everywhere, and he's an ambassador of the Premier League. Why? Because he's the Premier League all-time goal scorer. No one lauds Shearer because of all the trophies that he's won. Shearer is lauded because of the goals that he's scored. The day Harry Kane comes back and overtakes Shearer, Shearer becomes irrelevant, in my opinion. And that can sound really brutal. Gabriel Bonlahor is relevant because he is Aston Villa's all-time leading Premier League goal scorer. Let's put the word Premier League in there. Gabby's not even Villa's leading goal scorer. He's all-time Premier League goal scorer. I think I speak for a lot of Villa fans who'd probably say they're quite happy to see Watkins knock Gabby off that perch now, because he does say some outrageous things. Big up to James Wood, who's joined us. Big up to my man PC Lockdown as well in the house. Great to see great names in here. And Piotr as well has joined us. If you are in the live chat tonight, do say hello. Good to see you all. And so, yeah, if you've missed some of the news, the first piece of news was that Ollie Watkins to Arsenal was a thing in January. David Ornstein confirmed. The second part that threw me is that he actually said that Aston Villa potentially were the club who offered Watkins to Arsenal. And finally, Ornstein believes Watkins' ship to Arsenal has sailed. He thinks that one's gone. And the reason why I think Ornstein is saying that is purely because Gyökeres has been heavily linked to going to Arsenal. So I think that, you know what, it's really, really interesting to see how this story goes. Now, genuinely, I've put a poll in the chat. I haven't actually seen the poll yet. I've asked the question to you guys, do you see Ollie Watkins leaving this summer? 61% of you have said yes. 61% of you have said yes to Ollie Watkins leaving this summer, and you're all feeling it. I want to know maybe the reason now. Why do people believe that Ollie Watkins is actually set to leave? Why do people believe that actually 61% of you are saying that he will leave? And if you're someone who thinks Ollie Watkins will stay, then I'd love to know your thoughts. In a minute, I'm going to give my reasons and rationale behind where I think Ollie Watkins stands and what I think can happen. Now, I must say, before I do that and address the chat, if we have to put into perspective this January sort of window and the ups and downs of John Duran, Ollie Watkins, of course we nailed it with Asensio, Rashford, Malen, etc. But if we talk about that with the striker situation, if Ollie Watkins really was that close to going to Arsenal, or there was scope in it, and he was a boyhood fan and he wanted to go, do you think then that has impacted Ollie for the remainder of the season? Because I think Ollie hasn't looked the same. I personally think Ollie looks a little bit vacant in games. I think Ollie's lost his mojo. And I'd probably go to say that his confidence has been knocked. And the reason why I think his confidence has been knocked has completely been backed up by the fact that Marcus Rashford has started the last two games as number 9. Ollie came on against Preston North End. He missed that header and he missed that chance. He then's come on again against Brighton and didn't really have much opportunity. I just think now it's like, oof, gets from bad to worse. You know, Rashford dismantling you, you're not getting your goals. All of a sudden, chasing down just 3 goals may seem a really hard task for Ollie Watkins. And that is why, chat, if I don't see Watkins starting against Nottingham Forest, it's very interesting, that situation and scenario, isn't it? Very interesting, that situation and scenario. So what will happen, in my opinion, is all on the player. So if I was to summarise, I think if Ollie Watkins really wants that move to Arsenal and he thinks that's his destination, I think, personally, Ollie will push it. I think Ollie will push it. And I think Villa will try and push Arsenal from a big fee, because I think Arsenal need to pay the money. And ultimately, we say goodbye to Ollie Watkins. However, if Watkins wants to stay, I think he stays. I know that sounds really simple and you're going, that's so stupid, Josh. I think if Ollie Watkins genuinely wants to stay at Aston Villa, Villa will keep him. And if the player wants to go, he'll push the move. Tough one, isn't it? So I'm going to come to your comments. That's how I stand on it. A lot of people will tell me they think Watkins is definitely going. A lot of people say, no, he's going to stay. So we'll see what's happening. But yeah, let's see what happens. Piotr says, when I was a young kid in Poland, I idolised Gabby. He was like a dream player for me. Young playing for Villa, rapid, clinical. Then exactly, he messed everything up. And that is probably the fair point, that Villa fans idolised Gabby because he was Brummy boy. He was, claret and blue through and through. And then just that relegation season into the Championship just turned everyone's stomach on him. Just turned everyone's stomach. And everyone was just like, really? Really? You're going to do this to your club that you're meant to be a boyhood fan of? Really? So there we go. PC says, until Edgley Conte came along, Abonahor was my all-time favourite Villa player. Fair enough. And that's what I mean. Gabby still splits opinion. Gabby Abonahor still splits opinion in the fan base. 100%. And Del Boy wants rid of him. Villaman Cloudy says, told you, Josh. Didn't I, Josh? His head was turned. Yes, you did, actually, to be fair. I don't think Arsenal have the balls to buy Watkins. Every time we see Villa rumours, it's about attackers. That tells me Ollie's on the out. Monchietta are looking to replace him. That's a really good point, PC, to be fair. I mean, as I said yesterday, we did a bit of a story on, Ramsey and Rodgers. We know that Leon Bailey's been touted about in January. It's an area that we do seem to be upgrading, and Villaman Cloud doesn't like his body language. Big Man Bongo says, I'm from near Exeter. Love that he came through the youth. Enjoyed when he was at Brentford in the Championship. I hope Ollie stays for a while. Love him. Look, those of you who know this channel, I love Ollie Watkins. Have done for season after season after season. Probably the first season this time that I've been worried for Ollie, about people questioning his reputation, about people questioning his finishing, about people questioning, will he be a Villa player in the future? Because I've always been someone who's defended Ollie to the hills. There's been moments this season where I've not been able to defend Ollie Watkins. I've simply not been able to defend his finishing. He's cost us chances in big games, but he's also scored goals in big moments. I have always been a big Ollie Watkins backer, a big Ollie Watkins defender. This season I've struggled, and I think that for me to say that shows that I think he's also on that merry-go-round of going out. And you're probably right, Matt Parker. That's the issue. If Watkins does go, then Mallon stays, which blows my theory out. There we go. Well, I've got. But yeah, what else have we got? Sorry, I'm going to the comments. Yeah, I think PC's right about McGinn as well there. Nice haircut, man. Looking fresh, very posh executive IT. I'm glad people are liking it. Heidi's very happy with it as well, which is the main thing. And what's this? I think it's been genuinely shown that it's Watkins or Rashford to stay next season. I would love both. And this is where I'm also going to say why I think Aston Villa will be absolutely doing everything as well to keep hold of Ollie Watkins. The reason why I think they'll be doing everything to keep hold of him is, please tell me a realistic number 9 that Aston Villa can go and sign. 9s are hard to come by. And the biggest downgrade we can have is going from Watkins to someone like João Felix. They're not quite the same positions. João Felix is a 9, but the links that we've had for João Felix for season after season is annoying. I just think that 9s are hard to come by. Apart from Osherman, apart from Isak, apart from Gyökeres, you're struggling. You're struggling to find 9s. And I think that Watkins should stay as well. The only threat to Duran was Duran to himself. It's actually true. Leon says, I never got to watch Gabby play to us. What did he do to mess his career up? So Gabby was a pace merchant. Gabby tore defences apart. He got himself into the England setup. He had a good work ethic and hunger. He was a young lad. He led the Villa. The thing that upset people about Gabby is, unfortunately, back end of his career, he down-tooled. He took a lot of money. He was meant to be boyhood hero. He sucked the life out of the club. He didn't play for like a year. He'd make his one cameo appearance against Birmingham City and score. And that's why people love Gabby, because he scored against the Blue Noses all the time. But then he stayed on our books when we got relegated in the Championship. And that's there. Gabby is now a classic. Jamie O'Hara, go on the radio, wind everyone up. And that's where he's at. So there we go. We got to Paul says, hi Josh, I think Ollie Watkins had to go. It'd be Years ago, he's 29 now. Yeah, he does love the Villa, and his age is a big thing. As Arsenal fans, there's a lot of Arsenal fans who sit there and go, we don't want Watkins because there's no resale value on him, which is also true. If you buy Ollie Watkins, you can't actually sell him on because of his age. Before I go any further, people, if you're listening to me right now, let's get 30 likes on this stream. Let's get that thumbs up. Let's smash it up for me, please. I would appreciate that. And I appreciate you all here on a Friday night. Everyone has a sell-by date. I think it's probably Watkins' time, but only if it's Arsenal. Okay. Interesting, but I get you. You'd only sell him to Arsenal. Is that what you're saying? What else we got? We were linked with concern from Nice, and also I think a Chelsea bus driver can go for Nicholas Jackson. We were linked for Jackson before. And Watkins does need to be replaced, yeah. Surely we should be looking at Arsenal and aiming to overtake them, not making them better. Exactly my feelings as well, James Wood. It's like selling to a rival. Would be ideal for him and us for him to leave coming up to 30, especially if we get a bit of 50, 60. I think you all agree on that age thing, 100%. So, just one more thing then that came out from Ornstein's mouth is this. And this shocked me a little bit. Again, as I said, Ornstein very much chatting about the Villa. He's got Villa on his mind, old David Ornstein. He's also said this, which I think a lot of us are already probably quite aware of. But David Ornstein has come and said this. He said, it will be another big summer for Aston Villa as they look to kick on again. So, yeah, this is an interesting point. Because if Villa are looking to kick on again, they are going to need to sign big. They are going to need to sign massive. And I think that in that sense, we are going to have a busy summer window. And that's why I say with chest, people, that essentially we will 100% have the busiest summer of our lives. We're going to have the busiest summer of our lives. We're going to absolutely need to get the business done now. And we're going to have to we're absolutely going to have to get business done ASAP, Rocky. Okay. Are you ready for a big summer ahead? That's all I'm going to ask you, Villa fans, because it's going to be a bloody emotional roller coaster. I'm expecting to see big players leave. I'm expecting to see big players come in. I'm expecting to see massive improvements at Aston Villa. So let's see what happens. But Ollie Watkins splits the fan base. Facts. Watkins splits the fan base. I've never seen a striker so divided in all my life, splitting the fan base. And we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. So James Wood says, remember Ollie had no pre-season and was always playing to catch up like a lot of Euro. Yeah, it's true. Oh, yeah. Puffy has had a haircut as well. We've all had haircuts today. Look, she's had a nice trim, a live scene. The Villa collar's on. But yeah, she's had a nice little haircut. For anyone who's interested, we've all had trim up today. Heidi's even got her nails done as well. So we've all had manicures, pedicures, haircuts, the lot. So yeah. It's a big summer ahead. Ornstein is not bluffing. I know that for a fact. So we're in for an absolute crazy summer, and this is why you've got to get your notification bell on, because I'm not missing an upload. I'm not missing a story. I'm going to be all over it like a Marcus Rashford, all over it. So the second part into this is, I believe if Aston Villa beat Nottingham Forest tomorrow, we will get a top 5 finish and get Champions League football. And I think Forest have been looking very much ahead of them and haven't been doing much checking behind their rear shoulder of late. That a win tomorrow against Nottingham Forest puts Villa 6 points behind Forest, and I think we could catch them. And I think people might say, Josh, that's absolutely outrageous. No, 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 no. It's not outrageous at all. It's not outrageous at all. In my honest opinion, I don't think we are far off Forest. It's a 5:30 kickoff tomorrow night, and I want to know your thoughts on this. Do you still believe in Villa and UCL football? Do you still believe in Villa and UCL football? I think that tomorrow genuinely sets the tone for the rest of the season in the Premier League. Beat Forest, we're in the hunt. We're in the hunt. I want to know what you guys think on that one. But yeah, let's see some other comments. Piotr says, I like those mastermind transfers from Monchi and Vidigani. Every sign that I was against turned out good. Disaster, Rashford, Asensio. So I'm quite excited. I love your energy. I love your energy. But yeah, look, beating Forest tomorrow is going to be, for me, a message to the league. I don't know if anyone's looked at this, and this took me by surprise. So I go on the show Never a Foul, whether you've watched it or not, right? Everyone keeps saying that I've missed a few shows here and there for reasons, but everyone in the chat hates Villa, by the way. Villa are hated. Just so you guys know, Villa are hated by the cartel greedy Sky Six. Man United fans, Tottenham fans, and Chelsea fans hate us. Why? Because we take their place. Why? Because they're scared of us. But we are hated as a club. People do not like Aston Villa's success. They think we're a one-trick pony. They don't like the trajectory going on. So all I ever see is negativity about you're only Aston Villa, you're only this. And then people used to go to me, oh, you only turn up when you win. Well, I started questioning myself, going, what are people on about? So Heidi and I had a quick sit down and looked at the fixtures. Chat, we've only lost 2 games in 2025, which blew my mind. Crystal Palace and Wolves. Crystal Palace was an absolute shit show, and Unai Emery's fault. And Wolves, I just don't even know. Right? But what I am going to say is this. Come on, buddy. What I am going to say is this. What I am going to say is this. What I am going to say is this. Is that I think that people do not like the run of form that Aston Villa are in. Gentle. There you go. I think people don't like the run of form that Aston Villa are in. We are in scary form right now. We are in scary form. We now remember how to keep clean sheets. We now remember how to score goals. And we now remember that we are a good enough side to get Champions League football. I think there is big belief within the squad right now that we can do this. And I believe them. So neutral fans hate us. Neutral fans absolutely hate us. Neutral fans absolutely hate us. And they're worried about us. By the way, Puffy's just getting some biscuits. There she is. Big up Puffy the dog, by the way. If you haven't smashed the like button yet, we're doing a live stream while feeding the dog. It's absolutely there. And as I said, she's a Villa fan. She's got a Villa collar on. She's looking cute, as always. We love Puffy, the mascot for AVFTS. But yeah, I just think, people, that win tomorrow tells Forest we're coming for you. Chelsea don't sleep on us. Newcastle don't sleep on us. And who knows about Man City? What are people's vibes? What about people's vibes on Man City? Are they getting top 4 or not? No Haaland. Weird scenario there. I don't think Newcastle are getting top 4 either. And I'm talking should talk top 5. 5th should get you Champions League football. I think we catch them too. They're not accustomed to defend their spot in the league. We have experience of catching up and defending. Exactly. And do you know what? Forest are due a bad patch. I'm waiting for the Forest bad patch. It hasn't come. It's got to. Their recent performances have been a little bit dusty. FA Cup, they've needed penalty shootouts. Let's see what happens. Big up to D Murdoch in the house. Les James says F them. And if you haven't seen what Lee Collison said, I've got to agree on him. Please hit that like button. Absolutely. And Spicy Pricey, my bro, is in the house. Says he loves the new trim. Thank you, mate. And he said that big sits can kiss our claret and blue ass. Absolutely. And that goes for the media loving greedy Six fans. And don't like the Villa. VAR. Don't like the Villa either. And the less they were better. But yeah, honestly, I just think that let's win against Forest tomorrow. Let's really shake the top 4 race up. and let's get Forest looking in their rearview mirrors. We lose tomorrow, a draw maybe keeps us. A loss tomorrow. Am I going to wave the flag? No, I may not. I thought I could wave the flag and say goodbye, but I'm not going to. I still think we've got enough in us. But yeah, we are too big a club to be just a second club, and that pisses the cartel off, says Piotr. Absolutely. And we're going to be buying. And Credo says, statement win against Forest tomorrow. Man City don't deserve to be in the race. I just think they're still not quite over the line, are they, City? People were like, they're too good not to get top four. Let's see what happens with them. But look, if we can carry on this form, imagine the scenes where we beat Forest tomorrow with a clean sheet, a couple more goals, we get out of negative goal difference, and then we go to Paris Wednesday night with that vibe of, we can do this. Let's go to Paris on the back of a win would be superb. But it's all on Unai Emery's team. One thing I'm really looking forward to is seeing who Unai Emery plays, what his situation is, and what he does. There you go, probably. So we'll see on that. But we are going to wrap up in a second. All I want to say is, in terms of tomorrow's content, we're going to be hitting it hard. We are going to be doing a neutral watch along on either the second channel or Big Up. We haven't decided yet. But we're going to do Everton Arsenal in the morning. Unfortunately, Heidi's got all work tomorrow, so I'm going to be sad about her. And she's not going to be at the Villa. And then 5:30, live and direct, watch along on YouTube and Big Up tomorrow. Yes, people, because of the support on both platforms, as long as we get 25 people or more on the Big Up, I promised I'd keep coming onto the YouTube. So if you've got 2 devices, if you've got 2 mobile phones, 2 iPads, whatever you've got, you have one on the YouTube, one on the Big Up. It goes a long way. So yeah, the watch along will be on here. This is the home of Aston Villa watch alongs. I'm sure of it. That this channel delivers the best watch along for Villa content. So big up to you guys and thank you for your support on there. And I've got to say, a big super chat has just come in. I've absolutely just missed that. And big up to Delboy69 for the £10 super chat. Big up Delboy on a Friday night. Absolutely incredible scenes. And yeah, big up to you, Delboy. I appreciate it. Big Villa fan, I hope. And thank you so much for the super chat. You're absolute legend. A legend, and it goes a massive way in supporting the channel. So, Delboy, I doff my cap to you. In fact, I raise my bottle to you, sir. Thank you, and appreciate it. And hope you have a great Friday night, Delboy. I really do appreciate that. That's legendary. Can we have some big up Delboys in the chat? Can we have some big up Delboys in the chat or some fun? I think you can like his. Super chat. Actually, I didn't even realize you could do that. I've just seen that. So yeah, big up Delboys in the chat. Man City will do a rebuild. They'll get UCL. I think Forest will get UCL and probably Chelsea. I really hope Chelsea don't. They don't deserve it. If anyone knows me, I cannot stand Chelsea. I think Heidi has to hear me on a daily basis rant about Chelsea. And also, I do get a lot of... and everything else about Villa. And I do get a lot of hate from Chelsea fans, don't I, online? Yeah. I get a lot of hate from Chelsea fans when I go on these... Yeah, when I go on these panel shows, I get a lot of hate. I don't know if anyone saw. I actually appeared on the football terrace yesterday.
Yesterday.
It was yesterday. Yeah, I went on the football terrace yesterday. That was a really good experience. It was slightly different to the Never a Foul vibe. And yeah, that was, again, really good experience. And as I said, we're just going to keep trying to grow and grow. And as I said to you guys, every day, 7 p.m, live stream, unless it's game day, I'm going to be delivering consistency. And we want to grow. And, there's some big Villa channels out there. Up the Villa, Luke's channel, the 1874 podcast, Paul McGrath's, Claret and Blue. One day we're going to get to those levels. We're going to manifest that, and we are going to get to that with our watch-alongs. I do think these sort of transfer gossip shows are something a little bit different. As I said, I'm not into match previews, not into predicted lineups, not into all that stuff. What I do like is just waffling about the Villa. As simple as that sounds. And if you don't like waffle, then yeah. Hopefully you like waffle, because that's what we are all about. I'll be happy with a draw, but I really want the win tomorrow. I think I'm the same with you. Piotr says, up there, Delboy. Yes, love seeing that. And Villa Man said, you plonker rodders. Yeah, only fools and horses is as well a quality one. Nice one, Trotter. And you're welcome. No problem at all. All London clubs are full of toxic fans. Nothing's but haters. Yeah, they do seem to hate a lot. It is a waffle off usually on here. And you guys seem to like it. So we try and do that. Chelsea are jammy, aren't they, Villa Man Cloudy? I feel we can replace Ollie, no worries. I feel that. Don't know if we can. My final note before we wrap up is I think Villa have been very blessed in recent times. I think Villa have been very blessed in recent times to have John Duran and Ollie Watkins. Right? Let's be honest. Not like let's be real here. Having John Duran and Ollie Watkins, we've been blessed. We obviously had to make way for John because he wants to play. And all of a sudden, Ollie Watkins, I think we'll miss him. That's all I can say on Ollie. I think if Ollie leaves, we'll miss what he brought to the team. We probably won't miss that he's his sitters. We probably won't miss the headaches he's given us. But all I'll say is there's a reason why number 9s are some of the highest paid players. There's a reason why finding a number 9 is rare. And as I said, I can only list. In fact, just help me out here, chat. All I can list off my head, top number 9s in Europe, who I think right now of value or who are available. Because obviously you could say Haaland, but if I was to say number 9s who are available, Gyökeres, Osherman. Shit, who is the other one I said? I said another one earlier. Gyökeres, Osherman. Mine's gone blank. Mine's gone blank, people. My mind's gone blank. There was another one I said earlier, and I cannot remember who I think's available. Now, you could talk about Harry Kane. I'm not ruling out the possibility of Harry Kane coming back to Premier League. He's gone and got his trophy. Tick. Now he needs to go beat Shearer's record. He won't come to Villa, though. Don't want to be talking like the names of Tammy Abraham. Don't want to be throwing those sort of old people out there. Sesko might be the other one. Yeah, I think Sesko might be the other one. Actually, is a good shout, Villa Man Cloudy. But look, Lewandowski at his age, of course, quality 9 captain. But in terms of what I'm probably saying is market players available for Aston Villa as number 9s are really hard. Hence why, can you afford to sell Ollie Watkins when there's not much out there? Delboy the legend said, don't forget we are very passionate fans and I feel your passion. I'm glad. Captain says we'll miss his engine. And we should get that Haaland kid. And Matt Parker, seen this comment as well. Not to blow smoke up your ass, but your vids are my favourite Villa content. That's actually such a kind comment. And no, it's all about staying humble. It's all about staying and working hard. And comments like that, there, Matt Parker, they do go a long, long way. So I appreciate it. And the fact that we've got 47 people on a Friday night still is it. I love it. It makes me so happy. And as I said, we're going to grow. We're going to keep growing as a community. Josh, the Villa Boys from Aston are coming. You let them. You shout that from the rooftops, James. So, yeah, we need to find the next. I don't even know who this is. Santiago Castro from Bologna. I'll be honest, Piotr, not heard of him. So I'll probably need to go away and scout some number 9s. I need to probably, ask Starry to go and have a look at number 9s. I need to go find out who is a good number 9. And yeah, maybe we'll get some rogue South American. Big up to my bro from Western Supermare, none other than Lee Collison. Legend Lee. Lee, save all them for tomorrow because it's going to rain goals from Aston Villa. We shouldn't buy the blue strike and ruin their title bid. He's a penalty merchant. But yeah, so I am going to wrap up now because we're going to go make a nice curry. We're having a chicken korma. Korma curry. That's why Star's been lingering because she wants to know what's for dinner. And so we're going to have a chicken. I love you. We're going to have a chicken korma. We're going to have some poppadoms and we're going to have some non-breads, but it's a homemade korma. Usually if I go for a curry out with Heidi, we go spicy, but Heidi's got this unbelievable korma recipe. So we're going to have a bit of korma. And then if you want to join me for a watch along in the daytime, 12:30, Everton, Arsenal. It's not exactly a great game, but we're going to do some content on 12:30. And then, of course, lock in YouTube big up the live Nottingham Forest 5:30. We probably will go live at around 5:15 tomorrow, people. So notification bell on. I want to see all you legends who are in here right now on the watch along tomorrow because I love all of your chat. So there we go. Jeffrey said, make sure you blend the onions properly. You've got the best gear. What's it called? The Ninja. We've got a Ninja. And the Ninja never fails. Villa Man said, Korma, have a Balti or a tikka, still mild. Yeah, we do a homemade tikka one as well, but this Korma one hits hard. So yeah. Let me see just a few more chat comments. And this is the season of Watkins, which is, in my eyes, he's still a great player. Can't wait to see him back to full strength. Agree. He's a great player. Big up to Matt Parker. Del Boy's a chef as well. So he says, if you ever need me, shout me. Del Boy, we always need new recipes, Del Boy. So beyond that, yeah, absolute legends. Big up to James Wood. Big up to Meets Wave to Wally, our man Wally. I have to work in the morning. Hope I can catch the watch on tomorrow. Always fun, Josh and Clan. Have a great evening, everyone. Big up to Les and Jamie. I know you're on the other side of the world. So yeah, hopefully you can join us tomorrow morning for you. I have the son's birthday, but I'll be there in spirit. Captain, wish the son a happy birthday. Ours is on Sunday. Shreddy Bears is on Sunday. He turns 11 on Sunday. So big up to the birthdays this weekend. But yeah, I'm out of here. Big up to Captain, Spicy Pricey, Les and Jamie, James Wood, Meeks, Delboy, Villaman Cloudy, Leon Shaw, Stephen Rudge Cave. Big up to Piotr as well. Big up to everyone else who's been commenting. I see there's a few more other names I can count. I think so, Matt Parker. Big up to my mum. Big up to my dad. Big up to the clan. Big up to the legends. Credo as well. Delboy, your legend. Star is coming to join us. Puff's join us. And of course, the main woman, Heidi, has been here. And big up Josh and the family, says Captain. Thank you. They appreciate it. They always hear all the comments. And yours turns 14, does it, on Saturday? Love that. We'll wish him all the best. And because he's asked for pay enough to get simple as that. Correct. Big up to everyone. See you all tomorrow. Up the Aston Villa. 3 points tomorrow. All aboard. Choo-choo. Ta-da.